Welcome to Altskirt. My name is Riya.
And I'm JK. We've got a special guest here today, Dahae Song. Thank you for coming. And Dahae is a multidisciplinary artist who has been based in Toronto and is currently in Seoul and hasn't been in Seoul all that long. So we're very, very lucky to have her here today to share a bit more about her experience in the world of art and living and moving to Seoul and hopefully leave us with a few words of wisdom and advice, and can't wait to get this started. So Dahae, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I feel like you said everything already. Should I just repeat everything?
Verbatim.
Dahae. My name is Dahae. Born and raised in Korea originally, but moved abroad to study art. What else is there about me other than I do art? That's it.
Where did you move to for
Toronto.
school? Okay, Toronto.
Yeah, when I was in grade 6.
Oh, grade 6. And then how long were you in Toronto for?
I moved out maybe 3 years ago, so about 20 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you were there for a long time.
A long time, yeah.
Oh, wow. With your whole family?
Have you heard of the term 기러기 아빠? So it was my mother and my brother, but my dad stayed back in Korea to support us financially.
Oh.
And he would just travel back and forth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Geese father is what it's
called. Geese, that's so cute.
Yeah, because they travel the world based on seasons, so that's what the term is.
Wow, I learned something new.
I know, it's so cute and
That's so
sad.
cute, yeah. So you said how many years ago you moved back to Seoul?
Well, I moved out of Toronto 3 years ago, but I did a bit of a nomadic journey in between, and then I came to settle down here this June.
Oh, so recent.
Super soon. Very recent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking, what made you decide to land back in Seoul?
I wanted to move back for the past about 5 years.
Okay.
I just didn't want to do it abruptly where I land here and I have no friends, no network, and I just knew how lonely it would be. So I spent about 5 years partying, going out, meeting people, creating a community before I can actually finally move here. I just wanted to do an art show in Korea, where I was born and raised, where I derive a lot of inspiration from in terms of nature or just the philosophies of painting that we have. And I just like our people. I like Koreans. I want to make work for Koreans because there's a level of understanding that they have that I don't need to explain for them to feel my work. So I wanted to come here for that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And how's it been since you've been here?
So fun. I love it here.
Yeah.
I don't often leave my studio to explore Korea, unfortunately. I have a habit of just being in the studio every single day. But it's really nice to... I really like being around people that look like me. I really like that feeling. So I really like the everyday life, the food, the people.
Mm-hmm. And since you've been here, you've been very busy. You've had, a solo show. You were part of a group show with me last month, which was amazing. And and you've got a lot of projects coming up as well. But how did you manage that? How did you sort of get here in June in summer, and then get all this work? And do you feel like you're settled already?
In terms of just setting up my life here?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Yes, I feel comfortable in any situation or whatever circumstances of life. I think that's a gift that I received from just the way my life looked like. I do feel settled. It's very different from what I had planned. I actually came here with the goal of not doing anything. Like I just wanted studio time. Like I wanted to just focus on painting personal works. So having all these opportunities, which I'm really grateful for, it was like the opposite of my intentions. But I loved it. I thrived I thrive in chaos often. And it really showed me what being in Seoul looks like. Like it's a fast city in comparison to like many other cities like Toronto. It's very slow. And it was a nice chance for me to know that I can survive here. Like match the pace of the city. That was nice. I feel like that was not the question you asked, but yes, I feel settled. I feel great.
No, that's great.
Yeah. You're fast at settling as well.
Yeah.
That's great. And as you were saying before, you spent, around 5 years, sort of preparing yourself for this move. So maybe that sort of helped.
I think so.
Yeah. With the transition.
I think so for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like mentally prepped for it.
Mentally and like community is so important to me. Like I need to have good friends and good humans and
Yes.
Yeah, we all need that.
Yes, especially if you're moving to not necessarily a new country for you, but like, a new environment. Like we were talking about, like, I think potentially the last season of like, just that expat life. It's like, it's rough. If you don't find your people, it like takes a long time.
And it makes you feel more rushed, there's too many elements in life that you have to figure out, it's too much. Yeah, and it's just one little person. It's too much to figure out.
But you're so smart in that you kind of had like the strategic approach of like, I'm going to scope it out for 5 years before pulling the trigger.
Yeah, no, that is very strategic.
JK and I talk about how we love to strategize and scheme.
I love that.
I'm always like, how can I strategize my life to make it the easiest as possible?
That's smart. That's what everyone needs to do.
Yeah. Maybe if you could tell us a little bit more about your work, if you could share with the listeners what you like to paint, to create.
Recently, I'm really embracing the fact that I just want to paint whatever I want to paint. Because I think often we get stuck in styles, whether it be just like how we want to represent ourselves or what the collectors want. And I feel like, I don't know why. Why is it that, can you tell me? Why do people expect artists to have like one singular style?
Identifiable.
Very. And I think it has to do with the market. Recently I'm like, no, you know what? I just have so many things that I want to paint and I want the work to be honest. And I figured even if I've been painting like style A and then I have a new style that I want to explore, I'm sure if I do that 100 times, it'll also become something recognizable of mine. So that's how I like to paint. I like to paint honestly, and right now I'm having a lot of fun because, like JK mentioned, I did have a lot of work, like shows last month, yes, and I had a very short time to prepare. I had a month to do a huge body of work for my solo show. 1 month. I still have a star.
Is that your battle work?
Yeah. I traded my eye for the work.
We had it at the same time. I had a star as well.
We're star sisters. But when I had to paint with like a deadline and a goal, I will reach for things that I can manage. Like I know how many hours this painting will take because I've painted this 100 times. So I know how many hours and I know the steps to take.
Yeah.
And it's like in a flow state, like muscle memory almost, and I know everything about it. And then now that that's been finished, now I'm exploring painting that I get to just like sit and stare at for 5 hours just to figure out what to do next.
Wow.
And to like think about like what color should I use. And it's like the complete different way of painting. But it's so romantic and beautiful to paint like that, I think. You know, like I get to ponder about color choices. It's so nice. Like, right?
Yeah, to be able to do that, which like I don't understand as a designer, because it is very much like do what the clients want, do what, you know, people are paying you to do, and so you don't really get that precious moment of to ponder and like actually enjoy and to figure out what's next.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So that's how I've been painting in the past 2 weeks.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. He's been to my studio.
Oh, okay.
So he's seen like literally every style that I like to explore and scale and pass work. Yeah. Oh, it got weirder.
We like weird.
It's beautiful. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, and you know, making things as well.
Yeah.
They just made this.
Yeah.
You know,
Show it
show
off.
it a little bit. This keychain, these details. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I've put it on my pants, but it's a bit heavy, so I might move it to a bag or something.
Show
Yeah.
the tattoo.
Show a tattoo here. This is one of Dahae's works. I don't know if you can see it.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it
It's
came out
beautiful,
so
isn't
well.
it?
Yeah.
You know, I really love it.
I find it like, I feel like finding the right tattoo artist to do like basically a replica of your work on person, I feel like that alone is like also a feat.
Very difficult to find. Yeah.
That's really cool that you found that person to do
Yeah,
that.
very lucky.
Shout out Doi.
Shout out to Doi, yes, who actually did both of these.
Wonderful, wonderful human.
You know what's crazy? I actually followed him like years ago
Oh, no way.
just because I liked his work. I was like, he's so good with detail, attention to detail. And now the fact that you guys both have his pieces is really cool too.
He's a legend. He's a living legend. Mine's still a little flaky, but
Brand new, fresh.
yeah,
It's fresh. It's fresh.
you can't see it on camera.
If you don't mind, I kind of want to like circle back to something you said that I thought was like, that was a piece of gold that I kind of want to like unpack a little bit. You said that you wanted to paint more honestly. And I kind of wonder like, where does that desire come from?
The desire.
Yeah.
There's in Korean, it's like 해야 할 일이 있고 잘하는 일이 있고. Like there's like, you know, the things that you have to do, the work you have to do, and the work you want to do, and the work that you're good at. And I always want to marry all of those three. And that's when I question like, okay, like what do I offer to the world? Like what is my duty as an artist to offer to the world? And how can my offering be like the most honest version of myself? And I think it always aligns with in any form of painting or art making. I think it always aligns with like self growth in a way, and as a human being, not anything like societal or economical, just like coming into fully your being.
Yeah.
And I always see that like go hand in hand with like the more honest I am and the more loving I am, the more accepting I am towards myself, the more honest my work becomes. You know, it's like being able to look at myself, being like, what do I actually find beautiful? What do I actually find to comfort? What do I actually find just loving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'm like, that. I feel like those are the three things that I think currently I'm like grappling with and trying to answer for myself. So
How's it going?
I don't know, it's going. Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I think there's that level of like, in that Korean culture, it's like, there's a level of expectation too to just do what you're good at and excel. And there's that like societal pressure, even though I didn't grow up in Korea, but just Korean culture. I feel like that standard of excellence comes, but at the same time, it came at expense. I think for me to like, how much of honest Riya actually comes through that expectation of like just working hard, you know? And it's like, how do I find that and unearth that? And it is like giving myself space.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do.
In Korea especially. Yeah, we don't have time for space in Korea, you know?
So how do you manage that then?
I'm so lucky in the way that I'm very wealthy with my time. Like my time is my own, you know?
So jealous.
Yeah, it's like the best thing in the world. Yeah, and the way I've structured my career has always been so that I have as much access to my own time as possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wait, so sorry, I'm like, now I have like a million questions that I want to ask
Go
you.
for it, go for it.
Talk for hours.
Yes, can we? My camera can't handle it. We can keep going. Like, in that process of like, allowing like your honest self to come out and, you know, grappling with those three questions as well, or like the three Korean statements that you said, like, is there like a level of, you know, your experience as being like an immigrant and moving back, has that played a part in like how you honestly like pursue, I guess, your purpose through your work?
Actually, one of the interview questions was like exploring identity and how moving back has affected my exploration in identity. And I realized that I actually moved back so I don't have to question my identity.
Oh, interesting.
I think when we're abroad and we are like a minority or we're just not part of the environment and the culture, then we question our identity because we're not what we're experiencing. But then when we're part of our culture and when we're part of our people, like you just stop questioning your identity. Like you are this is you, you know? So.
Word.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah. No, I'm really surprised because I think I totally agree. Yeah, that really resonates with me. You know, I think when you are a minority, when you're living in the West, you are constantly questioning your identity, your place in society, you know, what makes you different and the reasons why you're so different. But you do less of that when you're living here for sure, because you know that people aren't treating you differently because of or based on your race. It's really for some of the personal reasons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're just a bad person.
They just don't like you. They don't like your vibe.
Yeah, maybe it's your personality. And then you get to question your personality, which is better for self-growth.
Yeah. That's right.
So do you find that even in your work though, that you don't really have to think about your Koreanness or your identity, you know, doing your work? Is that why you're feeling free to explore and do whatever you want?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. When I was working, especially in Toronto, where I was one of the very few Asian, Korean artists, and almost as like a business tactic, I brought up the Asianness, which is why I always accentuated like the brushstrokes and the minimalism, you know, and it was really good for business. It was a way to survive almost, but it boxed me in, you know, like I'm just a calligrapher. at this point, you know? No, no shade to being please cut that out. Yeah, but I don't like being tokenized, you know? I want to be free. Yeah.
I love that so much. That's such like an insightful perspective that I don't think I would have ever even thought about because I've never moved back to Korea.
You don't live here?
I don't live here. Maybe I should at this point. That's so cool.
No, sorry, I thought you were about to jump into another question.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're like flowing and it's just amazing. Yeah, I feel like it's bringing up a lot of reflection in me. So like right now, I feel like I'm just kind of like sitting in really good soup of just like just taking it in.
Do you, so the question that I kind of forgot about and I've been reminded to ask is, do you feel fulfilled in your career? I mean, it sounds like you've been working in this industry as an artist, as a creator for your entire adult life.
Yeah.
Are you doing it and are you continuing to do it because you feel satisfied and completely content in what you're doing?
Yeah, I do. I'm so happy. Like I'm like
amazing.
Every time I paint, I'm like, this is so fun.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, no, I love painting. I love creating even like little objects where I want to get into sculpture. I want to get into more installation. And obviously there are a list of goals that I haven't achieved, but I have full trust and like confidence that I will experience all those things. So I do feel very fulfilled and content, though I'm like, and the only way to, I just have to keep going. I just have to keep painting, keep walking. Yeah, I feel good.
So yeah, you've always been that way? Like, have you always known that you wanted to be an artist?
I have like a journal when I was 5 that says like, when I grow up, I want to be a painter. Yeah. And it's funny because 2 of my childhood best friends who I'm still in contact with, like I've known them since I was like 4 or 5, we all ended up studying art.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we were like drawing together when we were kids and all.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think, were you like in a family environment or were you in a particular school or like a particular system that really fostered that? Or like, because, that comes across as quite a bit different, especially in Korea, where there's a greater focus on an academic sort of path. What made it different for you?
My parents definitely, well, my dad is a child psychologist.
Oh.
So he is very aware of like brain development and the ways of life to make a child happy. So from an earlier age, like I did like singing lessons, like flute lessons, like, I mean, it's a pretty typical high achieving Korean household thing to do. Like you want to give your child all these things, They don't expect you to make those your career. They will put you in art class, but they don't want you to be an artist, but it's good for your brain development so you can be a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure that was their intention, but I was like, this is so fun. I'm going to do this forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you exhibited like a lot of talent when you were young as well?
No. I'm not talented. I can't sit here and draw your face. Like the Korean, like 입시미술, like I frequently get made fun of how bad I am at drawing. They would be like, 어머, 송다혜 작가님 그림 너무 못 그리세요.
We'll put subtitles so people can understand.
I'm just really good at like my own visual language that I've refined and I've taught myself, but I'm like really not talented. I think I have a good sense. Like I'm like my senses are good and I have good taste. But my technical skills, like I have to practice. Like when COVID hit, for 2 years I just painted like technical things for like 2 years. That's it. Like I have to teach myself still.
So how do you sort of stay on course? You know, how do you continue to pursue, you know, what you love doing despite knowing some of your other limitations, but, you know, sort of continuing to explore what you love doing?
With my limitations, I don't know, it's challenging, but it's fun. Yeah. I have time to grow.
Time to explore.
Yeah.
Time to explore, yeah.
And this is one thing my mom always told me was like, you don't grow as an artist until you grow as a person. And that perspective really taught me to like just be slow. Like I think being an artist is a career where you don't actually ever retire. And the more you age, the better your work gets. And the way I think about my career or achievements, like I'm okay if I achieve this when I'm like 87. And then that takes the frustration away because I don't give myself like a time stamp of like
awesome.
I have to get here.
Wow.
That's so freeing.
Yeah, so freeing. That's amazing. I'm jealous. I don't know how, you know, I mean, I've always lived a life of, you know, achievements and milestones, and you know, I'm a planner, so I love sort of trying to sort of foresee things and work towards goals. So I don't know another way of being, but the way you are, you're so chill and
I think
relaxed about it.
I think if you are used to achievements, that's where you derive your joy from. You're like, oh, I feel pleased at myself because I've achieved something. I think I just derive joy at a different place, from a different place.
That's a
I'll be
good way
like,
to put
oh my
it.
God, I like this color and it's so beautiful, so I feel happy. You know, or like I explored this new brush and I'm so excited to explore this new brush and it's so fun. And that's where I get my pleasure and joy from. And then, but I don't, even if I achieve something, I don't feel as happy as discovering like a new paint color, which is weird.
Right. So yeah, looking back on your journey, what are some of the key lessons that you've learned during this time, exploring, relocating, you know, your nomadic time, a period before you moved to Seoul, the community that you built, the new work that you're working on. You know, is there some sort of takeaway lesson that you might want to impart on us today?
Oh my God, the way you listed everything, I'm like, wow, I've done so much. Wow.
You have.
That's crazy. My lesson is to be kind to yourself, to your friends, to your family, to nature. Just be kind, be soft, be like a little kid. Yeah.
So important.
It is really important.
I think so. Yeah. In this world, what do we have but to be kind?
Yeah. That's really good because, yeah, I feel like that's one of the hardest things, I think, that you can do for yourself. Because I feel like we're always our worst critic.
Yeah, we're constantly like whipping ourselves into shape, you know? But when you're like whipping yourself into shape, like you're not gonna be beautiful, you know? You're gonna have all these scars. But if you like hug yourself into shape, you'll be all soft and round.
That's so real, though.
Yeah.
That's like a nice visual that you just painted right there of like, how many times do we beat ourselves up and that's why we're ugly?
Yeah.
You know, like maybe that's why we look so beaten down and like sad all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're doing that kind of to ourselves.
I mean, we talked about this theme in the first season, where, you know, we often sort of look at ourselves and we're unable to really accept that we are enough, and you know, we have trouble with you know, the critic, and you know, we've got the angel and the demon, but we often sort of let the demon sort of overpower
It's true.
us. And it's important to remember a message so simple yet so powerful, to be kind.
Yeah, I think if you have the mindset to be kind or positive, like just have a positive outlook, and I'm not saying like be like happy-go-lucky all the time. Like I know the powers of darkness as well. But when you are kind and when you have a positive outlook and you're looking up, you learn how to start to find like value. Like I think values are hidden. They're like in these like nooks and crevices of like every situation in life. You know, you can always find the hidden value, the hidden lesson, the hidden perspective. And I think that those things only come to surface when you're just like open. Like you have to invite them.
Yeah.
You have to be like, psst.
Yeah.
It's like a cat. You have to be like, come. It's safe, you know?
It's the perfect way to put it. Even like with that, like, how do we transition like into like a closing question? Like, are there any like last thoughts, that maybe even questions that you're still sitting with that aren't answered yet?
Like in terms of myself and career?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I know anything. So everything is still a question to me. But I think that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Does anyone know anything? Well, we're just all trying, right?
Yeah, we're all just trying.
Everyone's trying to figure it
all
out.
our first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Yeah. It's fine though.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. And I love that you said that though.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, like other people can see like that you are like super successful, like you've made it, or like she's accomplished, and yet like you're just so humble.
No,
just
I think
being
Yeah,
able to
and
say,
real.
Yeah.
You're
no.
just so real, so humble, and just being able to say like I don't know anything. I think that
Tell
in of
me
itself.
more.
Yeah, let me just keep
Compliment me more.
No, but I think, what I'm taking away from today and like, just this session is like, I am challenged and also super encouraged by like the level of freedom that you carry and that you're able to express in your work. Because I think that's something that I think like, I don't want to cry right now. That I feel like a lot of people strive for. In their work and their day-to-day.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just feels so like too out of grasp. Like they can't really attain it. It's like, maybe they can get glimpses of it here and there in their lives. Maybe they have to pay 10K, 20K to get a taste of that level of like, you know, freedom and joy. But to hear that you are living that out, like it makes me so happy for you, and I just met you.
Thank you.
And it's making me emotional of like, I am so like honored to like met someone that lives that out.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. We really appreciate it. No, we really do.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this episode. Please follow her account. We'll put it in the description below. And please follow us and subscribe and like. But yeah, we'll see you guys next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yay, thank you.